clients as well. So I want to be very, very mindful of time and make sure I hand over right on time for the incredible Tamra. I believe you are next up. If you are there, just flash your mic. I would love to pass the mic over to you.
Good morning. Wow, I love this segment, Marvin. You have such an air of humility in the way that you speak, and it's intriguing because it's rare. Especially when you go from like your somberness to my like, whoop, let's go up this ramp real quick. So I appreciate you. It puts me in a state of peace and really lets me settle into the message of what I want to share. So thank you. Can you guys just unmic and give Marvin some love? We love you so much. Thank you for serving all the time.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks, Tamra. And I'm looking forward to your amazing segment.
Thank you. All right, y'all. I am excited about this. When I came into the room this morning, I didn't know what the topic of conversation was. Usually I don't actually look and it just coincidentally parallels. But this morning I wanted a little bit of inspiration. And so challenges in creativity and mistakes to masterpieces. I was like, ooh, first off, poetic alignment. Yes, please. And understanding that we are constantly in this state of combating. And that feels hard. That feels like constant energy. That feels like it can be burdensome. And so I want to talk about these real combating forces that are against us on a consistent basis in our business, specifically connected to our creative blocks that we might be experiencing, and how, if we can break those down, it will change the trajectory not only of our business, but the fulfillment of the life in which we live. So if you have built your own creative blocks, and we have to have ownership into raising our hand for this, because we can do this to ourselves. We can stay on the couch, and that is a choice in our creativity. We can stay in the confinement of what we've always done, and that is a choice in our limited creativity. It could also be a tactic, whether to the community in which you've had constructs built around you. This could be done by your family that says, this is as creative as we get. This is your lot in life. And if you know anything about how I love to blend my faith, my understanding of biblical knowledge connected to business, you're going to hear this as I'm sharing. And so I hope that it releases to you as further wisdom, and also gives you a blueprint connected to what has already been taught. And whether you know the Bible in or out, or whether you have a belief in Jesus or not, the Bible is the best business book you could ever purchase. And so the principles are critical. And for me, the understanding, my partner always says this, that it can be taught principles, but we can't take the prince out of it. Regardless, it's good, but the prince is the best. So I want to just lend itself. When I said lot in life, I was thinking about Numbers, specifically the book of Numbers, which is one that people like to skim over, but there is a specific area that my heart is set on. But as I talk about these real barriers, we're going to be talking about social media and AI and blueprints and limitations connected to our lot. And yes, these are real business concepts, but there is business and biblical principles and truths connected to these challenges, some of which these inhibitions of creativity, these blocks of creativity, have been against us, as it feels like that demonic force. It feels like an oppression to our creative ability, to our freedom. And this is real. This is not a false reality. This is not, oh man, we're talking woo-woo here. You can feel when there is an energy that enters the room that is opposing your creative free nature. I can feel it when I have an air of joy as I walk into a space and someone else is coming in with an air of anger or suppression. I'm like, woo, that's a heavy one. Right? So I want this conversation in the next couple of minutes to help you break free from that, and also help you have the eyes to see that this is happening to you, or that you have raised your hand to saying, this is good enough for me. You're staying in your comfort zone. We know that we expand when we step out of our comfort zone, and it can feel hard. It can feel difficult. It can feel challenging. And when we get to said freedom, there's going to be more forces of nature that are up against us, because they don't want want us. No one wants us, especially the people that are outside of this community. And it's one of the reasons I love our community is that we are cheering one another on. We are supporting one another. But oftentimes we still see people in a state of isolation. And we're going to talk about isolation as an enemy block here, as a challenge to creativity as well. So I want you to think of this like a battle. I want you to think of this like we are on the front lines of enemy territory. I want you to see with your vision. I want you to see with those spiritual eyes and think about what dream you have inside of your heart. What has been dropped in your spirit? What is in your head? What do you think about, man, if only I could get and claim said territory? First off, you have to know that that creativity, just in that vision alone, has not been given to anyone else. The seed that has been gifted to you in that regard, I can't often see. So when I stand next to someone and I'm building their business with them and I do help them generate further expansion to that idea from a creative lens, I am looking to something that I have seen other people do, has been witnessed to me, and it's a provision and a promise that's been succeeded by other people, but it does not mean that there is not something uniquely and divinely and wonderfully given to them that I've never seen before. And it's one of the coolest things about being able to build business with this spiritual lens, because intuitively I can say, whoa. Often I'm in awestruck wonder of what's happening when I have somebody come to the table, just knock on my door to say, hey, I want to build this business. I'm like, wow, I've never thought of that. Which is good, right? This creative spirit has to be nurtured. And there are challenges every single day, and there are mistakes that are actually inhibiting us from having the masterpieces that we were born to create. So let's get into it. First, you guys know and hear this all the time around social media, that comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison blends itself with self-criticism. And this can be an internal block that we self-generate based on circumstances or based on our own personal tradition of self-talk. This is limiting beliefs. This is what Brene Brown calls the story that you're telling yourself. You are creating your own false reality of what success can be and what success isn't. And so what's important around this in a social media context is understanding that you have this intuitive, divine desire to share and understand that your message is unique. But if the first thing that you do prior to going to post is you go to scroll, you're going to have a block. No doubt, no question, no qualm. If you see everybody is jumping ship from one platform that has been serving you to another platform because something new is bright and shiny, and you just really are thriving in said space and your creativity is flowing in that space, do you think it's advantageous for you to jump ship? Or do you think you have staying power? What is your staying power connected to your social media outlet? Now, those who have potentially been coached from me know that I teach a multi-channel distribution method. And I think it's so powerful to be present on all of these places. But there is one, potentially two, that are serving you at the highest capacity, and they're serving your audience at the highest capacity. But I see people also often blocked from the other perspective. They're like, oh, I've always only ever done Instagram. That's where my community is. But they've never tried YouTube. They've never tried TikTok. Because there's a fear factor. So if we're on enemy territory, enemy lines, and something new is brought to our attention, do we choose to completely ignore it and it comes to attack us? Or do we intend to turn towards it, face forward? What can I learn about this enemy? What can I learn about this approaching territory? And how can I combat it? How can I stay in my creative peace? How can I still nurture my masterpiece and not let it be destructed, not let it be destroyed? So these are conversations around branding, but they're also conversations around social media, also connected to your staying power. What is constant about your dream? What is constant about your creativity? Number 2 is AI. This is a combating force all the time. New AI has been developed, and if you check out the link that I've dropped below, you'll see that we train on this, and we had a special guest who has been known across the world. Her downloaded element of heart-centered ChatGPT services and tools have been downloaded across the world by millions, because there are millions, if not now billions of people utilizing this service. That's why they've had multiple iterations. It's why it sometimes crashes. And so robots themselves, though, can be a really incredible asset. Imagine if we're on enemy territory and we're like, hey, bring all the robots. It's going to feel like one of those sci-fi movies, right? We're like in the Matrix now. This is meant to serve us, or it can be meant to destroy us. You choose. And so they're not also replacements. We don't get to just sit on the couch and let the robot do the thing, because what happens in that is robots are still robots, and they're missing a heartbeat. They're missing intuition. They're missing divine alignment. And so when we have something, this incredible tool that's being presented to us, we need to learn, how do I create authenticity while also staying in alignment and having max capacity in service? These are real questions and real trainings that we love to do inside of our mastermind. And what's cool about it is every time I come to Clubhouse, I give free guest passes to you all into these experiences that are 25K mastermind seats. People converting 100K per month in these strategies. We had someone last month who hit a 230K virtual event off of this training. Also utilizing ChatGPT in an authentic manner that actually replaced VAs, which I know some people have tension about that, right? They're like, again, it cannot replace a human heart, but it can replace output. It can replace divine resources. And how do we then reallocate that? And how does that VA get to stand further in to their zone of genius? So hand to heart, what I really want to share, I'm saying this, and what I want you to do, and this is what Allie taught us yesterday and taught the community. There was 85 people over the course of not over the course of the 2 days. Live, we had 77 people on Monday, 72 yesterday. 6 hours of training in a 2-day period, and we only lost that amount of people. 4 people couldn't attend. That is pretty amazing. And so I want to share with you while we're here, one of the things that she taught us connected to ChatGPT so that you can stay in your creative superpower. Because it's a superpower. We're divinely created, and therefore our creativity is something that is a seed that was given to every single one of us. People will say, I'm not creative, I'm not artistic. That's a lie. That's absolutely a lie. So she told us to put our hand on our heart. And she said, before you use ChatGPT, before you go on your social media, before you go to post or write the email or even serve the client, put your hand over your heart, close your eyes, sit in alignment with who you're created to be, and say, what I really want to share is, and say it out loud. Maybe your phone records you in that moment so that you can go back and reference it. Maybe it's just a moment of breath to yourself. Maybe it's a proclamation to God that you're going to stay in attunement to what His will is in the next breath. So when I put my hand over my heart, what I really want to share with you all is that you're creative, you're artistic. You in and of yourself are a masterpiece. And if we're standing at an enemy territory, if we're standing on the front lines, what I love about creativity, and if we can tap into this zone of genius more frequently, we confuse the enemy. Because the enemy does the exact same thing every single time. Think about this from your mindset. What is the thing that the enemy constantly is telling you? Maybe it's that you're not worthy. Maybe it's that you're not capable. Maybe it's that you're too shy to take the stage. Maybe it's that you're too shy to go live. Maybe it's that you don't look good on camera. You don't know how, so just don't worry about it. Let somebody else do it. Oh, that message has already been taken. Don't say that again. That story has already been written so many times, so don't even pick up the pen. The enemy says the same thing. He's likely been saying the same thing to you since you were little. But if you can tap into your creativity, I'm imagining this cyclone of creativity rolling around you in this very moment. Even though you're steadfast in your truth, this cyclone of creativity that's going around you is saying to the enemy, I don't know what their next move is. I don't know what they're going to say next. I don't know how to control their mind connected to suppression and oppression and depression and anxiety. So I'll just go to the next person. They're sitting still. They're still on the couch. I can control what they're going to do next. Let's be a distraction to the enemy rather than to be distracted by the enemy. Ooh, that's good. All right, so I mentioned social media. I mentioned AI. The next one sounds a little grotesque, but because we're on the front lines and this is typical, you're going to see some blood. So this is bloody blueprints. Bloody blueprints. Broken blueprints are being, that's like a tongue twister. Broken blueprints, bloody blueprints. It's happening all the time. People are presenting ideology to you that is not premised on truth. Have you looked at their bank account? Have you seen their reviews and testimonials? The actual screenshots of them? The actual people talking? The truth behind those finances? Their brands? The longevity connected to it? This is so important. There are people within this methodology and this mastermind too. I mentioned they just turned a 230K virtual event last month. There are people who are making 7 and 8 figures. Sarah Robbins, Emily Ford. You can talk directly to these people and you can see based on the fruit of their life what is transpiring and what seed they originally were given. It's seeds of truth. Out of power of reviews, out of testimonials, you have to do recon work before you take enemy territory. This is so good. Before the Israelites went and claimed spaces and territories in other people's kingdoms that they had self-generated, they sent people in as spies. Now, I don't know integrity if you feel like weary or weird about saying that you're going in as a spy to somebody else's business, but if you're hiring a coach and they're asking you for 25K, please be a better steward of every dollar and do some recon work. Ask the hard, uncomfortable questions. Ask to talk to their community. Ask to see behind the curtain. A lot of people nowadays are telling you what to do, but not how to do it. In this experience, in these virtual lives and what we teach people how to do in their own virtual events, we want you to tell them how to do it. Let them leave without paying a penny and having such value that if this is what you're giving for free, holy moly, what could you possibly give them if they paid? What transformation could they have? I think about the blueprints that were given to Noah. I think about the blueprints that were given to Moses. I think about the blueprints that were given potentially even to you, but specifically to me because I've held them before. And I didn't understand them. I still don't sometimes understand them. When new blessings come into my life that are appearing as opportunity, blessing is something that I get to receive. I heard this week from my friend Chris Rickstrew, who was on my podcast. He said, I don't look to everything that's presented to me as an opportunity anymore because an opportunity I have to stake claim on. When God presents a new territory for you, it feels like hard. You're like, I have to go take this territory. But if provision and a promised land have already been claimed, if a blessing is already yours, it's not out of your striving that you get to receive. You get to be arms open because it's already given to you. So when I think and tap into my creative lens, into the masterpiece that I am, into the intuition that God is connected to my purpose, my breath, your breath, this is for you. I get to sit in that space and I get to self-generate blueprints alongside co-heirs with Christ. I don't have to have one-on-one sales calls anymore that go from cold to convert. I don't have to choose a niche. I don't have to teach them what and not how. No, these things are old news. Webinars, out. Courses, they could be supportive, but they're out. It's not the strategy anymore. People want human-to-human, heart-to-heart connection. And if you're going to go and stake territory against things like AI and social media and other people's broken blueprints, you have to stand up to the fight. You have to be that confusing yet peaceful cyclone of creativity. Distract the enemy. Do something different. Stand out instead of stand within. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Be uniquely you. So there's a necessity connected to this that is talking about the support system. The support system. Are there people cheering you on into your unique gifts and talents, or are they making you mini-me's? I have incredible coaches, and I've had coaches within my community that I've been able to coach that have followed other people's blueprints. They actually use their exact training to coach people up. And I won't mention names because I love this person so much and I've learned so much from them. But what's coming to my spirit now is this understanding that you can use somebody else's beautiful and working blueprint, but if it doesn't have your own flavor to it, it stays stale, and ultimately you're just connecting them to them. And you have been placed as a divine alignment to you for a reason, because part of your story, a part of your testimony, a part of your knowledge, a part of your access to other community members, a part of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through are meant for this person. But if we're not infusing all elements of testimony into this person's transformation, we're only giving them an element of truth. They can't actually break free. They can't actually claim what is theirs. You're giving them a bridge, but you're keeping them chained to the bondage of the past land, and you're not actually breaking the chain to say, run forward, my friend. And I think people do this sometimes in order to keep people as clients, to keep people in their community. I'm going to keep this one in my back pocket. I'm going to wait to teach them about that until they re-enroll. I hope this is speaking to you. I hope that you're taking notes. I hope that there are parts of you that potentially have a little bit of friction, which is generally connected to a little bit of conviction, and ultimately allows you to correct and to truly break down these barriers, these challenges that will combat your creativity and let you be the masterpiece that you are, and allow other people to receive said masterpiece as a gift to their life, a blessing to their life. I have two more. Social media, AI, bloody blueprints. I can't say that. And the last one is the fourth one is implied limitations. Hopefully you guys have heard about the elephant that has been linked to a tree when it was little. It was linked to the tree and it was so small and the tree was small and he tried to get away several times and he just never could. So he kind of just gave up. And even though he was growing so much more substantially stronger than the tree, he had a limitation, an implied limitation over the fact of his capability. He no longer believes that it's possible, and so he just gives up. There have been barriers and boundaries connected to you. There have been strongholds connected to what you can and can't do. It could be people. It could be family members. It could be lack of knowledge. Without knowledge, the people will perish. It could be that you need to go explore. It could be that you need to have more fun. It could be that your body is not strong enough for you to take the next territory or for you to face the next battle. It could be that your mind isn't capable. It could be that your spiritual self, that spiritual being, that connection to intuition, that connection to creativity has been severed. And so you just feel like you're doing the same thing every single day and you're hitting your head against the brick wall. We're going to talk about spiritual anemia next, but this is for implied limitations. You are the massive element of the elephant. You've grown into your stature, but your mind and your spirit are not linked to the knowledge of your break free. So what I see in this moment is us on this enemy territory, and we see this promised land. We see what God has in store for us, the dream, the vision, the fruitfulness, the freedom. And we're linked to a bunch of trees. And yet we're equipped. There's something about us that needs to grow. There's something about us that needs us to come into the awareness. We need to get more creative. How are we going to escape from this bondage of what is holding us back? And what I believe has to happen is you have to get into a community of people. You have to see other people break free and do something different than all the rest of the people who are lined up shackled to a tree, and say, whoa. And they're not running and leaving and fleeing. Instead, they're coming back and saying, let me tell you a secret. Let me teach you how to break free. Let me help you get divinely aligned to your heart center. What do you really want to share? These are the people that we run with in our mastermind, in our partnerships, in our marketing, in our conferences. People who are not just going ahead, blazing a trail, follow my trail, follow my trail. No. They're coming back for the enemy. Through the enemy, They're coming back for the people that are part of their plan to free them from bondage. And what I love in that is in this moment, I think of like the lion and the lamb, when that elephant actually realizes, it's like, I'm bringing you back a mirror. That's what we're doing. We're bringing you mirrors to say, don't look at me. Don't look what I've done. Don't use my blueprint. You've got your own creative blueprint. Look at your stature. Look at your maturity. Look at your growth. Look what you've fought through. Look at the wounds that are now scars. Look at the battle that you've walked. Look at your past in the rearview mirror, but let's look to the future of the promised land. Look to the windshield. Look to this mirror and see how tiny is that tree and how big are you? The aha moment. The breaking free of that bondage so that you can run into your territory, into your destiny, into that rightful territory that's yours, that promise. I'm showing you a mirror right now. Will you break free? Or will this number 5 thing that I mentioned to I alluded to, the creative block, the stronghold that I see most of all in business, in the marketplace, in entrepreneurship, is spiritual anemia. It's the poverty mentality. It's the mindset of finances connected to our spiritual man, because it's not just finances. Poverty mentality is resources. We don't feel equipped. We don't feel like we have enough. How could we ever go that far? How could I ever get to that stage? How could I ever build $1 billion business when all I have in my bank account is $1,000? It seems too hard. It seems too big. And so spiritual anemia is keeping us suppressed into the limiting belief that we don't have enough. So this must be my destiny. We don't have what it takes. And I know this is not that. You are not that. If you're still listening, if you're still tuned in, you are a warrior. And you are feeling this energy rise in your belly right now, this fire that says you are capable. Let's go stake claim on what is ours. Let's release ourselves from the trees. Let's create by utilizing the beautiful blueprints that have been given to us, but the divine alignment of our uniqueness. Let's actually use the AI instead of reject the AI. Let's go into multi-channel social media, but not say what somebody else is saying. Say what we are intuitively meant and designed to say. And the only way we can do all of those things if our spiritual man rises, if our spiritual lenses are opened, if our spiritual ears actually hear, and we don't just follow the routine or the hustle hard mentality or the American dream. And I love me, America, land of the free. But we don't always get it right, just like I don't always get it right as a Christian. There are no perfect people in this room. But what I do know is we are capable. And while everything around us might be changing, we serve someone who never changes. A God that has created since day one, and he's still generating life as we know it. But if we stay in this lack mentality with lack of resources, we never get to serve out of a place of abundance. We never get to give back. There's safety in this methodology. There's safety in creativity. There's safety in building a masterpiece that's bigger than you and bigger than you can ask, hope, or imagine. Because it doesn't glorify self, because even on your worst day, you're still blessed. And so I hope you use this idea. I hope that you come and hang out in a next live experience and see for yourself. That's the most important thing. See for yourself. Create for yourself. And understand that as you create, just like service, I know we're in a room full of servant leaders. You get to build bridges for more people. And then you get to cross back over, show people the mirror, the beauty that they are, release them from said bondage, and transform their lives forevermore. And doing that releases generations. Releases generations. And that is a creative, divine design that I didn't come up with. So I hope you take note. I hope you get your hands on that blueprint I mentioned, the only business principle that works. And I am excited and grateful to be here with you guys today. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the space.